a herd of vacations, but experts say staycations have gained popularity due to the pandemic. And if you're looking for a fun spot not too far from home, listen up.
Cincy Lifestyle reporter Michaela Hughes-Shaw is taking us to an antique or a unique AirBNB that just opened here in Cincy. It is unique.
Located in the West End is 1835 Saints, an old church that was transformed into a must-see Airbnb and home. Creator Abdiel Acevedo saw potential in the historic building.
It was built in 1860. It was a Methodist church. It had actually been vacant for about 10 years. The building was in pretty rough condition. Some of the moldings were destroyed by just not having a roof on it. This top area was not used at all, but when I bought it, it still had all the pews, it had the altar, it had all sorts of things that made it feel exactly like a church. The total project took about a year. There's still things that aren't done, so I think it's just a matter of time. I always say these houses are actually never done. It's a labor of love. I've always loved an open space, and I think that this building actually allowed me to do that. I wanted to be able to walk out of my bedroom and see the kitchen, see the living room, and it would all be one usable space. And I knew that I had to be cautious with that because just from the small knowledge that I have in design, I didn't go to school for design. I just knew that an eye could be very overwhelmed by all the things that I put in an area. And I am kind of a maximalist to an extent. So this place has allowed me to just kind of take back a couple things and kind of just set up each area as a living space. I would say the whole church is my personal style. All the pieces in here are things that are somewhat meaningful to me. Nothing comes from, a warehouse or a factory. Everything has been, handpicked through my years in Cincinnati, which I think for me feels pretty special. Some of the things come from auction sites. Some of them come from the local thrift store. The reuse center is a place that I use a lot. I love taking things that aren't necessarily traditional and making them something that's functional. Facebook Marketplace is a great place, and I love finding a reuse for something rather than buying something brand new from a large box store. So it's colored glass all throughout, and that's actually something that was appealing to me because I never wanted to walk into this church and have a huge piece of stained glass. That would be overwhelming for me. It was a big open space, so I am the one that actually added walls. So this whole structure in the middle was added, and there's an original organ in here. I've also tried bringing in some things that are original to Cincinnati. So like I've put some rookwood tile in here, and I've used some great craftsmen from Cincinnati to kind of make the place feel a little bit more special. I put a lot of time and effort into what actually goes into the space. I think a home should be a place that you come home and you feel very comfortable in. It just makes me so proud and excited for not just the future of this building, but just the future of the neighborhood. The West End has gone through a lot of change in the last 9 years that I've been here. The West End is that kind of a gem that was forgotten about for a long time. There's rich culture that's been here for a very long time that I think is coming back to life. There's a lot of buildings in Cincinnati that just need a little bit of love and some sweat equity, and you can definitely make any of these buildings amazing, and I'm really happy that I was able to turn an abandoned building into something like this. So now we do have 2 Airbnbs downstairs. People are like, wow, this is really an incredible place. And I think just having that reinforcement of this is a really cool spot kind of fades away all those memories and pain that we went through when going through this rehab. So it makes it all worth it. And that sounds so awful, but it's so true.